Hey, it's Matthew David Hurtado, and check this out. Stay with me till the end. Listen to what I have to say because I'm going to give you a 1-minute process that will help you break through to the next level and remove the very thing that is keeping you stuck wherever you're at. Now, here's what I want to tell you and how I know this to be effective and very powerful, that you'll be able to do it just as well as I've been able to do it, and what it is. Okay, let me get into that. So the first thing is, for the past 3 days, I have been meditating constantly. And I was able to download a solution. The same way that I was able to download a solution when I overcame, my eating disorders that I had for 5 years, walked away from it overnight, never went back to it. When I was able to walk away from the PTSD and the anxiety and also the Lyme disease, all these things that I was able to walk away from, it's because of a shift in consciousness. And when you get a shift in consciousness, you have the ability to transform your reality in the twinkling of an eye, as it says. So here's what I want to tell you. I'm all about allowing, and I'm all about manifesting, and I'm all about vibration. And consciousness is everything. We know this to be true. Quantum physics proves it. Now, the issue is you see, it reminds me of when I played hockey. There's always a forward offensive game, and then there's always a defensive game. I was a defenseman when I played hockey, and I focused on the defensive game. So, having a strong defense is very, very powerful, especially in the law of attraction. This is a missing component that people are not talking about because I don't think many people understand it. It's not all about aligning with what you want and then all of a sudden you have it. You see, what happens is people wonder why they cannot align with what they want, because vibrationally something is amiss. Vibrationally, there's a reason why they keep gravitating to the negative side of things and why they keep remaining stuck in a perceived problem. And I'll tell you why this happens. And I just discovered it. And I downloaded a technique that I've proven to myself and a few other people who are closely knit that have worked on this with me. It will actually remove the cause of the block that is keeping you stuck where you're at. So let me tell you what the cause is right now. Unforgiveness and guilt. These are the two things that are poison in your consciousness, and they're keeping you stuck in your circumstances if you have been unable to transform them. Unforgiveness and guilt. So, as promised, what I'm going to give you is what if I could give you a 1-minute miracle? What if I could show you a process that takes a minute or less to do, that you could apply at will and erase whatever vibrational conflicts are inside of your etheric, astral, mental, physical body, so that you could be an open canvas to receive the love from the universe and to allow that love to solve and dissolve your problems. Would that be worth hanging on to? Well, stay with me because I'm going to introduce you to something I've just trademarked and I've just discovered called Safe Touch. As you may or may not know, I'm big on touch. It's something that has been taken from our society with the use of technology. We've become divided. I want to give you a way that you can do for yourself, and you can also do for other people, family members, loved ones. A safe way to reintroduce the power of touch and to incorporate a very simple strategy that will erase those two poisons from your body, your mind, your consciousness, unforgiveness and guilt. So here's what I want to talk about. Do you want health and prosperity? Because I'm going to show you how to do a soul detox, and I'm going to tell you one of the things I learned while I was healing the Lyme disease that I had. You are only as sick as your secrets. Now, this is the thing. Most well-meaning people out there that think that they're very positive, they're loving, they're very supportive, and even some of the people that you know that seem very chipper, very outgoing, and very loving on the surface, we are all susceptible to harboring resentment and guilt in our heart. So in our heart, it talks about, in Proverbs, that all the matters of life stem from the heart. Out of the heart arise all the issues of life. The heart is the most important component we're going to talk about here. Now, the heart, what do we think about the heart? We think about love. So we think about love as, a synonym for God, for the divine, for the universe, that this is a foundational force of love that pervades everything. And we have to look at what is it that causes the opposite of love. So, I want to tell you what is not true. People think that the opposite of love is hate. This is not true. So, when you approach the problem from a solution that is inappropriate or untrue, you create more problems and you get lost. If you want to find your way back to peace again, you have to understand the truth. The truth is that the opposite of love is guilt. The most powerful force working against your creations in your life, whether it's better health, better relationships, or more prosperity, is guilt. Guilt and unforgiveness are intertwined together. When you remove one, you will be able to remove the other. And I'm going to show you a very simple technique that you will be able to do yourself right now when we do it, and you'll be able to get your own experiential results and prove to yourself that this will work for you. And as you continue to do this technique that I call safe touch, with yourself, with a loved one, with a child, it doesn't matter, you will be able to cleanse yourself so that you can allow the love of the universe to expand in your life and to bring you the answers you need, the people you need, the support you need, and to dissolve the errors in consciousness that are perpetuating and creating the conflicts and problems in your life. Now, here's what I know about guilt. This is what I was downloading the past few days. The guilt comes after the broken heart. Let that sink in. The guilt comes after the broken heart, and it brings condemnation. So what is condemnation? And why is it so important that you have a tool like Safe Touch that you can release guilt on demand anytime you want to raise your vibration so that you can stay in the flow of all the good that is trying to come into your life? Condemnation is the action of condemning someone, including yourself, to a punishment or a sentence. So anytime you are harboring guilt in your consciousness, in your psyche, you are doing an action that is creating a punishment or a sentence. And as it says in the Bible, what we wish for someone else, we also wish upon ourselves. So what you need is a tool. We need a tool to eradicate this guilt, and I'm going to give it to you right now. So here is the Safe Touch method. Make sure you're not distracted. You can do this technique within a minute or less, and I'm going to give you the 5 steps. And then we're going to go through each 5 step, and then you're going to see how simple this is. And the components involved are going to be your eyes, because the eyes are the window to the soul. Your hands, because your hands, your body is bioelectric. This is why touch is so powerful. This is why hands-on healing has been used throughout the centuries, because your hands conduct electrical impulses of intent that you can put into them, and you can use your hands to heal. And I'm going to show you how to do this for yourself and others. And we also use the heart, because out of the heart arise all of the issues of life. So the 3 components of Safe Touch are the eyes, the hands, and the heart. The magic that makes this happen is the intent, the touch, and the last component, which is going to be the confession. So let's get into it. Step 1 is to rate any guilt that you can tune into right now from a scale of 0 to 10. We need to measure and quantify whatever poison is in your body right now. So on a scale of 0 to 10, think of anything that you feel guilty, including shame. Shame goes along with guilt. And an interesting thing about shame is whenever you feel shame, you will repeat the action. Remember that. Whenever you feel shame, you will unconsciously repeat the action. Again, whenever you feel shame, you will unconsciously repeat the action, and guilt carries shame with it. So focus on the guilt and you'll remove the shame. Think of anything you feel guilty about right now and rate it from 0 to 10. Step 2. For approximately 10 seconds, we're going to make an intention statement, and we're going to look into our own eyes. If you're doing this for yourself, you're going to look into your own eyes. If you're doing it for a partner, you're going to look into each other's eyes. So for now, do it for yourself and look into your own eyes. Just listen to the recording, grab a mirror, grab your cell phone, grab something you can look into your own eyes, and repeat after me. Pause the video if you need to. For 10 seconds or less, we're going to make an intent. I'm going to look into my eyes in the camera so I can do this. I intend to release any and all unforgiveness and guilt immediately, right now. Very simple. I made an intent. Now, step 3 is we're going to use our hands and we're going to focus on forgiveness. And the key here is you're going to forgive anybody that comes to mind. So when you thought about your guilt, I want you to just grab your own hand. If it's you, just grab your own hand. If you're doing it for somebody else, then have them hold your hands like this. Just grab your hands. Anybody that comes to mind, just follow after me. I now forgive my mom, my dad, my ex-wife, my children. And the reason why I added them in is not that they did something wrong, but I want you to forgive anyone that comes to mind. There is no I did this to them or they did this to me. Forget all that. Forget the stories. If they come to mind, forgiveness is necessary. I forgive anyone and everyone who also has not come to mind that needs to be forgiven now. So again, we make a statement. Now, step 4, and this is the magical healing step, is we focus on the heart and we're going to do a confession for 30 seconds to 1 minute on any perceived wrongdoing that you feel you had a part in. Any perceived wrongdoing that you feel you had a part in. Now make sure you're doing this with somebody that's safe if you're going to be confessing, because confession is the tool that removes guilt instantly. Now, out of the heart arise the issues of life. So if you're doing this for yourself, put your hands on your heart. If you have a partner, then allow your partner to hold the space for you, and you still put your hands on your own heart. You're going to be the one that's going to heal yourself. Your partner cannot heal you. Your partner can hold the space for you. Put your hands on your heart. The partner is simply there to facilitate the process if you don't know how to do this process. For 30 seconds, you're going to confess anything you think you did wrong. I'm not obviously going to tell the world my confessions, but for 30 seconds, you're going to confess what you think you did wrong. I confess I did this. I confess I did that. I confess I did this. Just go ahead and just confess. Confess it all out there. Keep your hand on your heart. Now, step 5 is to give yourself a hug, or if you have a partner, just embrace for a nice warm 5-second hug, and then repeat this statement. I love, accept, and forgive myself, and I release everyone that I spoke about, all the things I thought about, to the divine. I love, accept, and forgive myself, and I release all of this to the divine immediately. Take a deep breath and blow it out. Now, those are the 5 steps. Now, I'm going to do it for you as I would do it for myself in actual real time so that you can see how quick this works. Now, I'm actually going to rate my subjective units of distress, the SUD scale, for the guilt that I feel from 0 to 10. I'm going to try to focus in on some guilt. Okay, this is step 1. I need to find the guilt that I'm holding on to. Okay, I found it. I can get it up to a 5. So I have a 5 scale of guilt. So I'm going to look into my eyes right now. I intend to release any and all unforgiveness and guilt immediately, right now. I'm going to grab my hands. I'm going to speak about anyone that comes to mind. And I'm going to do this in my head because I'm not going to say it out loud to you. But I forgive you. And I release you to the divine now. Hands on the heart. I confess that again, I'm stating what I think that I did, my perceived wrongs. Give myself a hug. I love, accept, and forgive myself. And I release all of this to the divine now. Take a deep breath and blow it out. Okay, now I have to go back and assess my SUD, subjective units of distress scale, from 0 to 10 again on the same thing. So it was a 5. Now it's at a 1. So I have just effectively released all of that trauma. You see, if you can get it to a 0 or a 1, and you remove the unforgiveness and the guilt from your heart, where all the issues of life are stored, your manifestations will come to you much more efficiently, effectively, and promptly, because the very thing that is blocking divine love from reaching you is the perceptions of wrongdoing that you are holding on to, creating guilt, unforgiveness, shame, etc. And this tool, the Safe Touch technique, is the simplest way that I've ever discovered and the fastest way to remove this and to do it at will, on demand, anytime you need to. I recommend you treat it like a nutrition protocol and you do it 2 times BID. That means twice a day. I recommend in the morning when you get up and in the evening before you go to bed. I recommend you take a quick 1-minute break and release the poison from your veins. And by releasing this poison of unforgiveness and guilt from your veins, you will find your life will get better and better in quantum leaps faster than you thought possible. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy.